Hello everybody, and this is video C for lesson 3.3, and we're going to be solving equations with the distributive property. Okay, so that's what our I can statement says right here. It just says I can solve equations using the distributive property. Okay, so now let's just real quick do a recap of the distributive property, make sure we remember it. Okay, so if you have anything outside parentheses, such as this A right here is outside the parentheses with B plus C, really what's happening is this is A times everything in B plus, everything inside these parentheses, which is B plus C. We can use the distributive property to simplify by distributing that A to both the B and the C. So we're multiplying A by B, and we're also multiplying A by C in two separate pieces. So it comes out A times B plus A times C. So for example, if you have 2 times x plus 3, well, we don't know what x is, so we cannot simplify inside these parentheses. We can't do anything inside of here. But we can use the distributive property to make it look, to simplify a little bit more. So I can take this 2 and multiply by x to get 2x. And then I can take this 2 and multiply by 3 to get 2 times 3. 2 times x is just 2x, and then 2 times 3 is 6, and that's it. That's the distributive property. So you're just taking the front piece and distributing it to every single piece inside the parentheses. Okay, so let's look at an example of an equation with the distributive property. All right, so I have negative 4 times 3x plus 2. Again, I can't simplify anything inside these parentheses because there's no like terms. So what I need to do is I need to distribute, and then we can start solving our equations. So whenever we're solving equations, we want to get rid of the parentheses almost as early as possible, and then we can use our normal steps to solve from there. So I'm going to take my negative 4, and I'm going to multiply it by 3x. Negative 4 times 3, that's negative 12. Bring down my x with it. Then I'm going to take this negative 4 and multiply it by positive 2. Negative times a positive is a negative, and it's going to be negative 8. And all this is still equal to 16. Now that we've done the distributive property, this equation looks a lot like equations from video B, where it's just a two-step equation that we need to solve by using the inverse operations. Okay? So first thing I want to do is do my addition and subtraction before I do my multiplication and division. Okay? So I have a plus 8 right here. So I have a minus 8 right here. So because this is a minus 8, I want to add 8 because negative 8 plus 8 is 0. It cancels each other out. Whatever I do to the left side, though, I have to do to the right. Okay? So I'm left with negative 12x equals 16 plus 8 is 24. Okay? Now I have negative 12 times something equals 24. Because this is multiplication, I can do the inverse operation of division. So I can divide by negative 12. And whatever I do to the left, I have to do to the right. This leaves me with x equals negative 2. Okay. Let's go to another example here. Okay, so I have just a negative 10 minus 4x equals 34. So what this is right here is this is actually, this is like having a negative 1 in the front. Okay, that's like having a negative 1. So what I need to do is I need to distribute negative 1 to both pieces inside these parentheses to get rid of the parentheses. So I need to take negative 1, multiply it by 10, and then take negative 1 again and multiply it by negative 4x to start simplifying this. So negative 1 times 10 is just negative 10. And then I have negative 1 times negative 4x. A negative times negative is positive, so it's positive 4x. Okay? And all this is equal to 34. If you notice, all I did, if I had a negative in front of these parentheses, all I did was just change the sign. Okay, so this positive became a negative, this negative became a positive, and that's all we really did there. Okay, not too much calculation involved. Now I can go with my normal steps of solving this equation by simplifying and getting x by itself. So because I have a minus 10 here, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to add 10 to both sides of the equation, to the left side of the equal sign and to the right side. These cancel each other out. That was the whole reason why I did it. My 4x comes down. Equal sign comes down, and then 34 plus 10, that's just 44. Now I've got 4 times something equals 44. A lot of you can already see the answer, but I want you to show every single step. I need to divide by 4 on both sides because this is 4 times x. The opposite of multiplication is division. 4 divided by 4 is just 1, so they cancel out. I'm left with x equals 11. Okay. All right, so let's look at another example. Now we've got a fraction in the mix. It does not change anything. You still need to distribute this fraction to both pieces. Okay, so I'm going to distribute this fraction to both pieces inside my parentheses. So 1/2 times 4x, okay, so let's work that out real quick. 1/2 times 4 over 1 is 4 over 2. 4 divided by 2, though, that's just 2. Okay, so I have 2x plus, let's see, if this is 5 over 1, 1 times 5, that's 5, 2 times 1, oh, that's 2. Let's just leave it like that for right now. So I have 2x plus 5/2 equals 11. Now what I need to do is I need to get x by itself. So I need to first subtract this 5/2. So let's get rid of this 5/2 because 5/2 minus 5/2 is just 0. And whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. Okay, so I'm left with 2x equals 11 minus 5/2. Here, let's write this over here so it's easier for me to solve. That's 11 over 1. Okay, let's see. I need a common denominator, so I'm going to multiply 11 over 1 by 2. So now I'm going to have 22 over 2 minus 5 over 2, and I'm left with 17 over 2. Okay, so 2x equals 17 over 2. Now I can just divide by 2. Divide by 2. I get x by itself. Okay, because these cancel each other out. So let's look at this over here. Remember, this is 17.5 divided by 2. Keep, change, flip. So this is really 17.5 times 1.5. Now we just multiply straight across. We get 17 over 4. And that is my final answer. You can leave it as an improper fraction. I do not care. If you wanted to change this to a mixed number, it would be 4 1/4. Okay. Also, your number clue for this lesson is it is a 3-digit number. Okay, so it's a 3-digit number. Okay, last example. Remember, always use the opposite operation when simplifying, and also remember to show all your steps. More fractions, you guys, but again, it doesn't change our process. I'm going to take -2/3, and I'm going to distribute it to both pieces inside my parentheses. Okay, so this is -2/3 times -9. Okay, so if I just put -9 over 1, okay, let's look. I'm going to have 2 times 9, which is 18. 3 times 1 is 3. I have a negative times a negative, so it stays positive actually. And I'm going to bring down my x. 18 over 3, though, I think we can simplify this. 18 divided by 3, oh, that's just 6. Okay, so let's go ahead and put 6 instead of 18/3 because let's make this a lot easier on ourselves. So if we can get rid of the fraction, let's do it. So that becomes 6x, and then I have 2/3 times 9/2. Okay, so 2 times 9 is 18. 3 times 2 is 6. So I have 18 over 6. But again, I have a negative times a negative, which is a positive. But can I simplify this again? It looks like 18 divided by 6 is 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that actually here. Make this easier on ourselves again. All right. 3 equals 21. We simplify the parentheses, and we still have to write down the rest of the equation. So this complicated-looking equation right here just turned into 6x plus 3 equals 21. Now we can just solve. Subtract 3 from both sides. You're left with 6x equals 18. And we can divide both sides by 6 because these cancel each other out, and that's going to give me x equals 3. Okay, and that's it for solving equations with the distributive property. The biggest thing, you guys, is just distribute first, and then you can use the steps we learned before to simplify. Okay, good luck on this lesson, and I hope everybody has an awesome day.